Howdy y'all, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, we'll be doing another comparison video, and more specifically, we'll be comparing AIs, an AI character, and even more specifically, we'll be comparing the drones, also known as buggers. So, with this, we'll be tackling the question of which Halo game has the strongest drones. Now, the drones were first introduced in Halo 2, and they were pretty much an interesting enemy, and everyone rightfully thought that they were giant bugs, which I guess technically they are giant bugs, because hence the name buggers. But I think in lore there's a little bit more to them than just being insects, but this is not a lore video, we're just going to compare their stats and see which one's the strongest. So, interestingly enough, this time we won't actually need to worry about not being able to compare Halo 5 or some other game because no mottos exist. We'll be able to compare every single game where the drones exist this time. So, starting with Halo 2, the game that introduced the drones in the first place. These drones, they fly around in swarms. They typically use plasma pistols. I don't think I've ever seen a drone in Halo 2 use anything but a plasma pistol. But anyways, they fly around in swarms, and they can even board your vehicles. They can't pull you out of vehicles, but they can keep hitting you in your vehicles, and 2 of them can board at a time as well. So they're in large numbers. They're pretty dangerous, but they are pretty weak individually. But let's see how their stats are. So in Halo 2, drones have 60 points of health as their base health. They have no shields in Halo 2, and because of that, their shields don't recharge. They do 35 points of melee damage, which I don't think I've ever seen drones melee before, but in the game stats, they do have melee damage. And when they get on your vehicle and board you, each hit they do does 30 points of damage, which that I've definitely seen, but I've never seen the melee damage before, but I'll include in this comparison anyways, just a little interesting thing there, and maybe it's like a cut melee animation or something, but I don't know. So the next game to feature drones is Halo 3. In Halo 3, the drones, for the most part, they look the same. I mean, they've been visually upgraded a little bit, as is a lot of stuff in Halo 3. It's usually like an upgraded Halo 2, but other than that, the drones, they all behave the same. They can even still board your ghosts. And 2 of them can board your ghosts at the same time as well and keep hitting you. So gameplay wise, they're also pretty much the same. I guess they just spawn in larger waves now. But as for their stats, well, if these stats look familiar to you, that's because they're the exact same as Halo 2's stats. So Halo 3 drones, aside from their visual appearances and visual upgrades, gameplay wise and stats wise, they are all the exact same as Halo 2's. Really, even beyond these stats, other less important stats, they were all the same. I couldn't really find anything to differentiate the drones aside from their appearance. So yeah, everything's the same as Halo 2's. Now, Halo 3 ODST, we can actually compare that this time because even though usually a lot of the stuff in ODST is the exact same as Halo 3's, this time around ODST is a little different actually. They actually introduced different ranks and different variants to the drones this time around, which is interesting because in Halo 3 there's only one type of drone, and this time we're receiving a drone with a drone leader that has shields as well, which we'll be comparing that one because the base drones are the exact same again as Halo 3 and 2. So we'll be taking a look at the strongest drone that Halo 3 ODST has to offer. And this drone, it has 60 points of health as well, but its shield strength has 60 points of shield strength, and it takes 2 seconds to recharge, but there's a 5-second delay before it starts recharging. And the melee damage and boarding melee is all still the same, and they can most likely also board a ghost, 2 of them front and back, at the same time. So really the only thing that separates drones in ODST from the older games is the strongest one with the shields. So the last Halo game we'll be comparing for this is Halo Reach, which once again brings back the drones. These drones, they are a little bit different this time in gameplay. Well, basically they're all the same still, but one big difference is that when you headshot the drones, they actually explode this time, which is odd, because that never happened in the other Halo games. But that's really just, superficial. It doesn't really have any impact otherwise on gameplay or their stats. Because as you can see, their stats here, it's still 60 points of health, and for the higher ranked drones with shields, which I actually could not find in the gameplay, but apparently the Halopedia says they do exist, they also have 60 points of shield strength. But this time, the shields take a little bit longer to recharge, 3.5 seconds to recharge with a 3-second delay in the first place. So yeah, that's the only really difference with ODST. Their melee damage is still the same, 35 points of melee damage and 30 points of boarding melee. So, which Halo game has the strongest drones? Well, this was a comparison that is pretty bleh to me, to be honest. Because all the drones, this is like the one time that I've ever seen in a comparison where the same character or weapon is the exact same across all the Halo games. Really, the base drones across all the games are the exact same stats, same health, same non-existent shields, same melee damage, supposedly. You know, they're all the same. So that's why I had to throw in the ones with the shields. But even the shield ones are almost the same between Halo 3 ODST and Reach. The only reason why I'm going to give Halo Reach the victory here is because in Halo Reach, their shields recharge, overall, they recharge 0.5 seconds faster. Technically, ODST has the fastest recharge time, but it has a higher delay than Halo Reach's. So, in the end, with the delay and the recharge time combined, Halo Reach's drone shields will recharge half a second faster than ODST. And because of that half second, I'm giving the victory to Halo Reach. So, there you have it. Halo Reach has the strongest drones. However, personally, I feel like I have seen the ones with shields before in Halo Reach, but I just I couldn't find it, neither me nor my friend, even with the Thunderstorm skill turned on. So, like, we weren't sure they existed anymore. I don't know if I was remembering wrong or something, but the Halopedia says they exist, so I guess they do. So, but if they don't exist in a game, then that would have to go to ODST. But, you know, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt and that they do exist. So Halo Reach has the strongest drones. Boom. But yeah, so hopefully you guys did find this comparison to be interesting nonetheless, and if you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, leave a thought in the comments, let me know what you want me to compare next, and I'll do my best to get around to it soon when I can. But other than that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys!